Hey everyone, it's Joe, and I'm making an addendum video that I promised that I would regarding pathology and whether or not it adds to the radiolucency of your image, meaning it's a little bit darker gray, or the radio opaqueness of the image, meaning that it's lighter gray or white. And so pathology can affect the overall look of an image or parts of an image because of the pathology associated with the body part that you're x-raying. Now, you should be aware of the different destructive pathologies that there are, as well as constructive. You should also know that destructive could be considered subtractive, and constructive might also be called additive. So look for those two different names. It doesn't have to be destructive and constructive. It could be additive and subtractive. So just think of it this way. If there is a pathology that adds to a density or adds to something in the way of the x-ray, then it's going to become more radio opaque or white because it's in the way. It's absorbing more x-ray. If it's subtractive or destructive, that means it's taking away from anything that's in the way. So maybe there's a pathology that's eating out the bone, like an osteoporosis. But if it's subtracting material in front of the X-ray photon, or destroying something, a tissue in front of the X-ray photon, then that's going to lead to radiolucency or darker shades of gray for that part of the image. Now, I'm looking at this slide and I see on the bottom here it says that you would increase your technique for a person with a constructive or additive pathology, and you would decrease your technique if you have a destructive or a subtractive type of pathology. I'm not convinced that that really is the case. I don't think that that's realistic. I think it's just you need to know that if a person has one of these types of pathologies, then you're going to either see parts of the image will be darker than usual. So if a person has a bowel obstruction and they are filled with air, I'm expecting there to be a lot of darker grays in that person's abdomen. I'm not going to change technique because of that, but I just know that I'm going to see bowel loops. I'm going to see distension. I'm going to see a lot of air inside the lumen, and therefore it's going to be a little bit darker gray than the abdomen I did before this person. If I do someone who I know has a history of osteoporosis, I know the bones are going to be more of a shade of gray rather than bright white because they've lost the mineralization that causes bones to be so bright or light gray in my image. And so therefore I'm expecting this person's bones to be more of a shade of gray than white. So it's just kind of leading up to what you're going to see. Again, you want to remember that whenever you have a pathology associated with fluid or liquid or anything like that, it's going to be constructive. It's adding that in the way. If you have something that's associated with air, okay, or lack of air, then you're looking at destructive. So I'm thinking of bowel obstruction, I'm thinking of emphysema, pneumothorax. With constructive, with the fluid, ascites, let me see what else we got here, pleural effusion, okay, things like that. I think we've discussed these a few times. And if you have any questions about any of them, please let me know. Make sure you remember your medical terminology. So remember what atrophy is. Make sure you remember, what atelectasis is and sclerosis and all of that. So once you understand what the pathology is, it should be easy to identify it as either destructive or constructive. So that's pretty much it. It's actually in the book, there's only like 2 or 3 paragraphs about this, not even. So there's not a lot about it, but I guarantee there's going to be 1 or 2 registry questions about these types of pathologies, and you need to know which bank they fit into. Are they destructive or constructive? So make sure you know it. Any questions about any of this, please let me know, and I will talk to you all later. Bye.